Hari Om, my dear students. How do you fight against COVID-19? Okay, wearing mask, using sanitizer, follow coughing etiquette, etc. Then remember, when you go out, don't forget to wear mask. Now I am here to teach you the lesson Madam Rides the Bus, written by Valli Kannan. Valli Kannan is the pen name of R.S. Krishnaswamy. He was a Tamil writer, critic and journalist. Through this story, the author is trying to present the world as seen from a child's perspective. Then yesterday we have covered the first part of the story. Do you remember the story? I just encapsulate the first part. Valli is the protagonist of the story. She was staying near a bus stop. Her hobby was to stand in front of her house and listen what is happening in the street. The most fascinating thing she noticed that a bus was traveling from her village to the town. Day by day, gradually, a desire crept into her mind to ride on the bus. So he collected details from the people who already travelled in the bus and the neighbors. What are the details she collected? The town is 6 miles away from the village. The trip to the town took 45 minutes and the bus fare is 35 cents. At the end of the first part, she decided to ride on the bus. All of you take your literature reader, page number 190. Listen. Well, one fine spring day, the afternoon bus was just on the point of leaving the village and turning into the main highway, when a small voice was heard shouting, "Stop the bus, stop the bus." And a tiny hand was raised commandingly. At last, on a fine spring day, she decided to travel on the bus. She went to board the bus. Then she said, "Stop the bus, stop the bus." And a tiny hand was raised commandingly. The bus slowed down to a crawl and the conductor, sticking his head out the door, said, "Hurry then, tell whoever is to come quickly." "It's me," shouted Valli. "I am the one who has to get in." Valli said, "I am the one who has to get inside the bus." By now the bus had come to a stop and the conductor said, "Oh really? You don't say so." "Yes, I simply have to go to town." Valli said, "I simply have to go to town," said Valli. Still standing outside the bus, "And here is my money." She showed him some coins. Then still standing outside the bus, then she showed him some coins. Okay, but first you must get on the bus." The conductor asked her to get on the bus, said the conductor. And he stretched out a hand to help her up. Then she decided to help her to get inside the bus. But she said, "Never mind," she said. "I can get on by myself. You don't have to help me." Valli said, "I don't want any help from anybody. I alone get inside." The conductor was a jolly sort, fond of joking. "Oh, please don't be angry with me." The conductor said, "Don't be angry, my fine madam," he said. Then the conductor called her madam, "And please don't be angry with me, my fine madam," he said. "Here, have a seat right up there in front. Everybody move aside. Please make way for madam." The conductor said, the conductor is a jolly type, so he said, "Everybody move aside, please make way for this madam." Then as she was only 8 years old, he said like that. It was the slack time of day and there were only 6 or 7 passengers. There were only 6 passengers in the bus. Slack time. A time when there is not much work. Slack time means a time when there is not much work. And there were only 6 or 7 passengers on the bus. They were all looking at Valli and laughing with the conductor. Only 7 passengers in the bus. They all were looking at Valli. Valli was overcome with shyness. Avoiding everyone's eyes, she walked quickly to an empty seat and sat down. He went to an empty seat and sat down there. May we start now, madam? The conductor asked. Again the conductor asked, may we start our journey, madam? The conductor asked, smiling. Then he blew his whistle twice and the bus moved forward with a roar. Then the bus moved forward with a roar. It was a new bus. Its outside painted a gleaming white with some green stripes. As it was a new bus, its outside painted a gleaming white with some green stripes along the sides. Inside, the overhead bars shone like silver. Directly in front of Valli, above the windshield, there was a beautiful clock. The seats were soft and luxurious. The bus was new. The seats were soft and luxurious. Valli devoured everything with her eyes. She watched everything. But when she started to look outside, she found her view cut off by a canvas blind that covered the lower part of her window. When she started to look outside, she found her view cut off by a canvas blind that covered the lower part of her window. So she stood up on the seat and peered over the blind. So she stood up on the seat. The bus was now going along the bank of a canal. The road was very narrow. On one side there was a canal and beyond it palm trees, grassland, distant mountains and the blue sky. Then what are the things she was seeing while she was traveling on the bus? On the one side there was a canal and beyond it palm trees, grassland, distant mountains and the blue sky. On the other side was a deep ditch and then acres and acres of green fields. Green as far as the eye could see. Then she saw all these things. Oh, it was all so wonderful. Then it was very wonderful sight for her. Suddenly she was startled by a voice. Suddenly she was surprised by a voice. She heard a sound. Listen, child, said the voice. You should not stand like that. Sit down. Suddenly she heard a sound from behind her. You should not stand like that. Sit down. Then you should not stand on the seat. Sit down. Sitting down, she looked to see who had spoken. It was an elderly man who had honestly been concerned for her, but she was annoyed by his attention. And she noticed an elderly man who had honestly been concerned her, but she was annoyed by his attention. An elderly man asked her to sit down as she was a small girl, but she was annoyed by his attention. There is nobody here who is a child, she said haughtily. There is nobody here who is a child, the old man said. Sit down, child. The Valli is asking, who is child? She said haughtily. That means she said angrily, who is the child? I have paid my 30 paise like everyone else. Who is a child? Why you are calling child? Then I have paid my 30 paise. I have paid my bus fare like everyone. Then don't call me child. The conductor shimmed it. Oh sir, but this is a very grown up madam. Do you think a mere girl could pay her own fare and travel to the city all alone? Then the conductor came there and asked him, this is not a child, this is a grown up madam. Do you think a mere girl like her could pay her own fare and travel to the city alone? Valli shot an angry glance at the conductor. Valli looked the conductor angrily and said, I am not a madam. Please remember that, and you have not yet given me my ticket. I am not. The conductor again called her madam, but he said, I am not a man. Please give me. I have given money. Please give my ticket. I will remember, the conductor said. Mimicking her tone, the conductor said, I will remember. Everyone laughed, and gradually Valli too joined in the laughter. Valli also joined with them. The conductor punched a ticket and handed it to her. The conductor gave ticket to her. Just sit back and make yourself comfortable. Why should you stand when you are paid for a seat? Again asking, why should you stand? You have paid the money. Then why did you stand there? Because I want to, she answered, standing up again. She answered, she became angry and she said, because I want to. When I want to stand here, that's it. She answered, standing up again. But if you stand on the seat, you may fall and hurt yourself. When the bus makes a sharp turn or hits a bump. Again he said, then you may fall. If you stand like this, you may fall and hurt yourself when the bus makes a turn and hits a bump. That's why we want you to sit down, child. So we said, you sit down there. I am not a child, I tell you, she said irritably. Again she told him that, I am not a child, I tell you. I am 8 years old. Of course, of course. How stupid of me, 8 years. The bus stopped, some new passengers got on. Then in the beginning of the journey, there were only 6 or 7 passengers. Then in between the bus stop, some new passengers got on. And the conductor got busy for a time. Then during that time, afraid of losing her seat, Valli finally sat down. An elderly woman came and sat beside her. Then again, an elderly woman came and sat beside her. Are you all alone, dear? She asked Valli as the bus started again. The lady asked her, are you all alone? Then you are a child, are you all alone? Valli found the woman absolutely repulsive. Valli found that the woman absolutely repulsive. Then that means she showed dislike to her. Such big holes she had in her earlobes and such ugly earrings in them. And she could smell the betel nut the woman was chewing and see the betel juice that was threatening to spill over her lips at any moment. Then Valli did not like her. Then she was chewing betel leaves. Then she was trying to spill over her lips, and she is ready to spit at any time. Who could be sociable with such a person? That means Valli did not like to mingle with her. Yes, I am traveling alone, she answered curtly. Then she answered curtly. Curtly means angrily, by showing displeasure. And I have got a ticket too. I am traveling alone, but I got a ticket. Yes, she is on her way to town, said the conductor. Then conductor said, she is on her way to town with a 30 paisa ticket. Oh, why don't you mind your own business? Said Valli. Valli said, you mind your own business. But she laughed all the same, and the conductor laughed too. But the old woman went on with her drivel. The old woman again disturbed her. Then, is it proper for such a young person to travel alone? Is it proper for such a young person to travel alone? Do you know exactly where you are going? Then do you know exactly where you are going? What is the street? What is the house number? Valli is a small child. The lady is asking several questions because she is alone. You need not bother about me. Then while she was asking several questions, the Valli said, you don't bother about me. I can take care of myself. Valli said, turning her face towards the window and staring out. That means Valli did not try to talk to her. She turned her face towards the window and staring out. The second part ends here. Then what we have seen in the second part? Listen, Valli is the central character. Then her wish was to travel on the bus. Then at last, Valli, she planned how she slip out of the house. Then one fine spring day, Valli boarded the bus. The conductor, seeing her confidence, allowed her to get inside the bus and called her madam. But she did not like it. There were only 7 passengers in the bus. Then she went to an empty seat and sat there. She found her view cut off by a curtain, so he stood in the seat. So an elderly man asked her to sit down, then otherwise she will fall down. Then what did she do? But she is not ready to obey him. She told him that I am not a child, then I have got my ticket. Then again while he was traveling, while the bus was moving forward, in a particular place the bus stopped. Then the passengers entered into the bus. Afraid of losing her seat, then she sat down. Then a woman came and sat down near her. She was chewing betel leaves. Valli did not like her. But the lady was so curious about her as she was a small child. Then she was asking several questions. Then are you traveling alone? Then you are a small child. Then where are you going? Do you know the name of your street? What is the house number? She was asking several questions, but Valli is not ready to listen all these things. She looked outside and staring the staring the scene outside. Okay, all of you understand the lesson? This lesson is very simple. You just read the lesson. I will send you the notes through WhatsApp. Thank you all.